have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount+.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount+.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount+.
So Group E is now set with Germany topping the group with Ivory Coast. They're the runners-up, and joining them in the knockout rounds is Ecuador, who came from behind against the Germans to finish third place on 4 points. Meanwhile, unfortunately for the debutantes Curaçao, they are heading home. Good to have you with us, everybody. Welcome along. Just a reminder of the two matches then in this group, in Group E. Loads more football still to come later on this evening, which we'll also look forward to in just a second. I'm Poppy Miller alongside Mike Grella and Mike Lahoud. Mike, I suppose we've got to start with Ecuador. What a turnaround for them. It looked at half-time like they were going to go through in third place regardless, but they fell outside of the teams in third place that will go through. And now they don't even have to worry about that, finishing with 4 points.
Yeah, their backs were up against the wall coming into this match. And you could talk to a lot of Ecuadorians, and we have some Ecuadorians here in studio, and every single one of them were pissed off with how this team was playing, pissed off with the lack of conviction in the final third, the lack of quality, and most importantly, the lack of composure. Bottled up in the form of Enner Valencia. He's a legend. He's the all-time leading goal scorer for the national team. But I said this, my biggest worry for them was who was going to step up and score the goals if Enner Valencia wasn't going to be the guy. Today, we finally got answers. Nilson Angulo and, of course, Gonzalo Plata, who did the business at the Club World Cup last summer. So, Grell, this is what football is all about. Big players stepping up in big games, in big moments, and they did that today.
Ecuador is a problem. It's a big problem for a lot of teams. They conceded 5 goals. I mentioned this earlier. Conceded 5 goals in the qualifying against some of the best teams in the world. When you look at it, at high altitude, a lot of those games are played at. Physical side, organized side, good manager. They just have trouble scoring goals, but at a knockout stage, you can say, hey, we're going to defend. Yeah. No problem. We'll hit on the counter. We'll defend. You come to us. Let's see what we can get from the game. They score a goal from a set piece. They're a bogey team for a lot of big boys coming into the tournament now that are playing well. And the perfect example is a team like Germany with a high pedigree, high history, better players. Ecuador can trip those teams up now in the knockout stage, so I was really impressed with them. On the flip side, though, Germany just went through the motions today. They really went through the motions today. I don't know if, we mentioned before, there's a way maybe that they can rest the players and get a good result and keep the momentum going, right? Is there a way they can do both? Well, they found a way to do the opposite. They found a way not to rest the players and also not get the result. Yeah. So I don't know where they're going. This is not the Germany I know from growing up watching them play. But we'll see in the knockout stage what happens. Yeah,
it was almost a double negative, wasn't it, for Germany, because they weren't able to do either of the things that you mentioned. But just by the way, with Ecuador, how crazy is it going to be, Mike, that the fact they could most likely draw against Mexico in the next round and play them in Mexico City? How much of a threat do you think they could pose to Eltree?
Look, this is now with a confidence-building result like this. This could be the Ecuadorian side that no one wants to play. And you talk so much about the altitude factor, the pollution at Azteca and Mexico City. That goes out the window because Quito is much higher than Azteca and Mexico City. This is such a significant moment for Ecuadorian football. You go back to, I think, the 2019 U20 World Cup. That was when you really saw this modern-day evolution of this Ecuadorian national team, where they made a run, I think, to the semifinal and really took the world by storm. A lot of these players coming through the Independiente del Valle academy system on display today, and it just goes to show if you have the right investment, if you have the right academy system and the grassroots culture, you can do amazing things. And they left it really late. Just to get some context of this is only the second time Ecuador have made it to the knockout round. And the last time they did it was 2006. Wow. They're in the same group with Germany. So they got revenge over the Germans, who they lost 3-0 on the final match day, knowing they'd already punched their ticket to the knockout round. But this is massive. I know a lot of Ecuadorians in Newark, New Jersey, Ecuadorians down in the Philadelphia area. There's going to be a massive party tonight, Pop, both in Jersey, both in New York, and definitely down in Philly.
That's what we were saying earlier. We love so much how New York, especially, or the entirety of America, is such a melting pot for so many different cultures. So they are so well supported when they come here. Germany, on the other hand, Grell, I mean, if you, Julian Nagelsmann, after this match, how are you reflecting on it? Are you thinking bigger picture? The reality is it doesn't do any damage to them. They had already won the group. But maybe some selection questions now for him? Or do you think, after what we saw today, he's going to ride out the same 11 come the knockouts?
I don't know about the 11 that he'll pick. He's got a lot of good options, but for sure he's going to, I think, to the group, he'll say, okay, no problem, let's move on. Keep the vibes high, keep the train moving in forward, but for sure they're going to take the video and look at it and be like, look, this situation happened too many times. This situation happened too many times, and they're going to have to fix those things. There's a weakness in the Germany squad, and for sure Nagelsmann is going to look and try to figure that out and make them a stronger team. Just quickly on Ecuador, you're Mexico. You get 9 points. You don't concede a goal in the group stage. They were having a party last game, by the way. It looked incredible. The stadium. Yeah. Before the game started, they were very likely they were going to play potentially Scotland, someone like that. It would have been cigarette in the mouth, no problem. Now all of a sudden Ecuador goes through last minute from a set piece. Now you have to play Ecuador, a team that's used to playing at high altitude, a team that's used to playing in heat, a team that's pretty tough. Talk about the curse of competence there. 9 points and you get to go play Ecuador.
Is Ecuador one of the worst teams of a third place finish that you would want to play?
Yeah, Pop, it really is, because we've already seen a bit of contentious nature in the third group stage game aside between El Tri fans and the national team and some of the performances. And that sounds crazy to say because, you go back to the last World Cup and Mexico were a disaster under Tata Martino. They're the sort of team in Ecuador that they have no problem defending for their lives. They have arguably some of the best defenders, young defenders at this World Cup. William Pacho, Pierre Hincapié, Joel Ordóñez, who is going to go for a big money transfer move at some point after this World Cup if he decides to leave Club Brugge. But imagine a world where they play Mexico and it's 0-0. The longer it goes 0-0,
the more comfortable Ecuador will be.
Yeah, the Mexican fans are going to lose their mind. What we saw from Germany today, Pop, not good enough. I don't care if they've already punched their ticket to get through. Germany will only go as far as Julian Nagelsmann will let them. Today, I thought he got a lot of things wrong. There's a lot of problems with this German national team. And I think winning in the style they did against Côte d'Ivoire covers the cracks. The number one elephant in the room today, Manuel Neuer, is not good enough to play as the number one for the German national team. It was him at fault for that goal. If you go back and watch the tape, I dare you to watch that tape 5, 6, 7 times. There is no world where Manuel Neuer should ever give up a goal like that. The ball gets played in at the near post. He goes to grab it. He literally goes to grab it like this, and Plata comes, touches it by him. Not good enough. Germany have a bad situation in goalkeeper.
I'm looking forward to actually talking more about Germany in just a second, because we're going to look at the ratings for all the players throughout the first 3 games and really where they go from here. Just to touch on Ecuador and where they stood very quickly at half-time, because obviously it looked a lot different for them. And they knew, I suppose that's the beauty as well of playing today, they knew exactly what they needed.
How many points did Ecuador have at halftime?
Well, they had 3, but they needed 4.
They had 2. I told you 20 times in the break.
Hang on. Grella was confusing me. What I was trying to say is it was 1-1 between Germany and Ecuador. So they had 1 point at halftime. Grella thought I was talking about the big picture, the group standings, which I wasn't. So like normal, we were having 2 different conversations. Here's the graphic.
We got there in the end.
Confirmation of it, because Bosnia and Herzegovina were the only team that really changed, weren't they, at halftime, because they did clinch their place in the next round, where they most likely will play against the US men's national team. And then you can see the top 8. Scotland, by the way, were in it as of then. Ecuador were 10th because they had 2 points. But now they're looking much better. At full time, they're through. They're completely safe because they finished with 4 points.
Yes.
We're speaking the same language now, Grella,
We are.
right?
Yeah.
Scotland's still in there, by the way, but it doesn't look like it's going to stay that way because we still have so many more games to play.
Imagine going in with 3 points, -3 goal difference. It's tough. It's tough. And like we said earlier, that would be the first Scottish team to go on paper to the knockout stages. It's tough. That's one that you just like, okay, whatever. But Ecuador going there is good. Bosnia there is good. Sweden obviously coming up is a very big match for them. Paraguay, Australia going to be in that conversation. So I guess there's a lot of fun games coming up in terms of the third place live table.
Yeah, very quick, Pop, before we go to break, I want to give a special shout out to a player that I actually gave a dig at in Moises Caicedo after the match against Curaçao. And I mentioned how significant it was for Sebastian Becasete to go and make him the captain. And Enner Valencia, a player who didn't show up until this match and still hasn't shown up this World Cup. Legend for his country. Today, I thought he played the game of his life in an Ecuadorian jersey. Him, Vite. You can go through the back line of William Pacho. They stood up and they were men today. They're going to need to be real men against Mexico should they play them in the knockout round. So he deserves full flowers, and he is the symbol of what Ecuadorian football is going to be. So congrats to you, man.
Yeah, well said, Mike. What about Ivory Coast, just very quickly, because at half-time, speaking of half-time, the odds for them, you couldn't even bet on them because they were so safe to finish in second place. What's their outlook, Grell, on the rest of the competition?
They're good, and I hope they make a run for all the for all the African teams. I think they're put themselves in a position to beat Germany the other day. They played well today. Physically, unbelievably powerful, strong, fast, good in transition. Positionally, they look really solid, hard to beat. On the attack, Pepe gets 2 goals today. He's a big piece of what Villarreal are trying to do or have done in the last 2 seasons. They've been very successful because of him. Obviously, he's had a stint at Arsenal and Lille also where he scored 22 goals, so he's an important piece. But they've got so many good players playing in good clubs all over Europe. So let's see what they can do. I think that if they get it right in both boxes, they can make a deep run and a surprising run.
Yeah, I really love this Côte d'Ivoire side. They're a young side, and they're doing it without one of their best players or most influential players, Evan Ndika, injured with a hamstring injury. So they hope to get him back in the knockout round. That is going to make a seismic difference in their defensive end. But for me, to see a player like Nicola Pepe, I think today he becomes the second oldest goal scorer behind Didier Drogba to score in a World Cup. A player who was actually left out of their AFCON roster by their head coach, Emers Faye, who is one of the best coaches in Africa right now. So a massive redemption arc for Nicola Pepe. And you said it, Grell. He's shown his quality even after being left out of the AFCON squad to show perseverance and show some of the intangibles that none of us saw when he was at Arsenal. He's become a difference maker. And you called it the other day where it was his pass that led to the counterattack for Simone Adingra. And we'd be talking about a Côte d'Ivoire side that would be top of the group, topping the group. So they make history today. For the first time ever, they will be moving on to the knockout round. 4th time at the World Cup, and finally they get it done.
Actually, Curaçao were good today, too, by the way. They were good. And again, their population, 158,000 people. Amazing storyline. But now it's time. Put your seatbelt on, get on the plane. Goodbye. We'll see you later. The real tournament's starting very soon. I think it's on Sunday, the first knockout stages. So can't wait for that next stage. Can't wait to see some real. Yo, let's get rid of the fluff. Let's start.
Have you
I want to see
enjoyed
the
the expander format or no?
What's that?
Have you enjoyed the expander format or not really?
Too big. I think if you're going to make it this big, you go to 64, and then 2 teams from each group qualify. I know it would be a lot of games, but seems like football's moving in that direction anyway. So 64 teams, two teams go through, so we don't have the third place live table where I thought I lost you there in the last segment because of how difficult it is to know where the teams are going to fall. So
Mike, how confusing is he though? Really?
Look, I'm staying out of this.
Honestly,
you two have something good going.
Teams and numbers out. Teams that aren't even playing today, and he's just like, "Are you with me?"
All I have to say is you did have to get her medicine out for the Eloy room. Eloy room.
No, that was my fault too. She was having a stroke in live TV. That was my fault.
I know. To be fair, it's actually better that he does something like that because before he would just sit there and watch me try to say it.
He just leave you drowning?
Yeah, he'd be half asleep.
I thought you were a team player.
He's got this uncanny ability to ask me a question. About anything in life, not just football. And I gave her a heartfelt, tried as educated as I am, which is not crazy. educated answer, and then she almost always does the opposite. And it just happened with the live table. I just took 5 minutes of my time to explain to her the third place table. She looked me right in the eye. She goes, "You're right." Comes on live and goes, "This guy doesn't know what he's talking about."
I lost him at heartfelt message, because that has actually never happened. Just very quickly, though, for Curaçao, Mike, I mean, yes, they're out now, but what a story to be one of the debutantes.
Seatbelt down.
For me or for her?
Flowers one more time.
No, take nothing away from them. A lot of people thought they were here to just participate, and I think they're proving they definitely did participate. But I think they're proving that there's something happening in Curaçao. It's not just a place to go vacation. I actually want to go there. I played pickup with a couple Dutch-born, Curaçao-living Dutch people, for lack of a better term, and they talk about what Dick Advocaat has meant to the national team. A manager who's been there, done that, and he chose to come back to this national team to finish what he started. So players like Tahith Chong, players like the Bakunia brothers, just seeing so many players represent their country, their families, I mean, this could be the starting point for something good in the CONCACAF region. So congrats to them.
And all of the young next generation that they've probably inspired by just getting to the World Cup and being able to play on the world stage is amazing. But their tournament comes to an end. We've got loads more to come for you after this short break. Stay with us here on Golazo Matchday, 48 Nations.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, but the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
A crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
So Germany came into the match knowing that they're already through to the round of 32 as the Group E winners, but their opponents, Ecuador, knew that a win would give them a place in the next round as a best third place finisher. Germany today, we were just talking not the best of days, right? All things aside, the bigger picture, everything is complete and it looks good on paper. The reality is there's a lot of cracks you could point out with this group, right, Mike?
Yeah, and it starts with the manager, Julian Nagelsmann. He took a big gamble today, and Grella, we were talking about this coming in to just watch the match and break this all down, where we were all expecting rotations to be made, and Nagelsmann said, whoa, no rotations. I'm working on the chemistry. I'm building up. I'm cooking something special with Kai Havertz, who was crap today. He was poor. Jamal Musiala, poor today. Okay, Florian Wirtz helped set up the goal, but he was trying to do it on his own. And you could go with Leroy Sané, who scored the goal, but Leroy Sané, right before Ecuador gets the winner, missed chance after chance after chance. So it backfired on him, and now he's back to square one with the German public and all of us asking more questions. My big thing is, when you look at some of the subs he made, Pop, this seemed like a throwaway game for him. When you look at some of the subs you make, you're down 2-1. You bring in Dennis Undav. Okay, check. That's who you bring in. That's your super sub. But Jamie Leveling stayed on the bench. Maxi Bayer on the field. You go Malik Thiaw on the field. What are you trying to do? This was a game to really make a statement. I don't care if you've already punched your ticket, but continue this feel-good feeling. Continue to build that chemistry and get more buy-in from some of the players on the bench. It was a failure.
Yeah, it was a failure. They were not good, and they're not themselves. And that front three I'm talking about, I don't want to include Havertz in it because he scores a goal in the Champions League, and then he scores a couple goals on ending match day one. But the three behind him have been lackluster, right? Like even Musiala, like you watch him in that Bayern PSG matchup, you're like waiting for his moment. Never took control. You know, he's one of those stars. He's one of those guys. He's in the Nike ad, right? It hasn't really made the difference. Sané, we've been talking for a long time now. Where is he? When is he gonna really show a performance from the first minute to the last minute? And then on the left side there is Wirtz. Wirtz, 100-something million player. He's been okay for Liverpool. He's been okay for Germany. Today he sets up the play. I think that's the first thing he's done really all tournament that you're like, okay, at least he's taken apart. But they're all good players, and they've all performed okay. But it's been underwhelming for me, for sure. Like the sharpness, the tempo, the intensity, the control of the game that normally I think when I think of Germany,
so
they don't have that.
Why do you think
it's
going to get better then in the competition? What gives you the sense that they'll make a deep run?
Who said they're going to make a deep run?
You.
I did.
Yeah.
When?
You said that you think that it'll be a failure if they don't go to the final.
I think the public thinks that. I think the public thinks that. I don't think the German public is like, oh, we're happy to go to the quarterfinal. I think they have to go deeper than that.
So what do you think then?
I think they'll go to the quarterfinal. I think it's possible. But after watching a performance like today, and even in the group, you know, people say, oh, yeah, but they beat Curaçao 7-1. But the fact that Curaçao even scored against them is really bad by German standards, from what I understood before speaking to Jens language. So they have issues, you know. They're conceding too many goals, soft goals as well. So I don't know. I'm not that optimistic how far they're going to go. If they go to a quarterfinal, I think that's about right. That's the realistic expectation from journalists and obviously ex-pros.
Do you think the same, Mike?
Yeah, my expectations of this team was kind of peeled back. And I said it before, Dennis Undav papers over a lot of cracks. When you go back to the Curaçao match, it was 1-1. It was 1-1.
20-something minute, yeah.
1-1, right? And Dennis Undav comes in, and you get a glimpse of what could be. I go back to what I said before. Nagelsmann is going to be the difference between a Germany side that can make a deep run or a Germany side that I think will fall flat on their face, whether it be the round of 16 or the next round, depending on who they get. There's a couple things that worry me about this Germany side, and I alluded to Manuel Neuer. Manuel Neuer could be a problem for them. I think he's their weakest point at this World Cup.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. He's looked shaky, Pop. We saw him in the Champions League. For as great as he was in one of the games, he's a liability for me with Germany. And that sometimes can happen when you have a goalkeeper.
Have him as one of the best goalkeepers in the world?
Not even close. No. He's a legend for what he's a World Cup winner. He's a Champions League winner. He's won the treble. He's won just about everything you can win in football. It's incredible. Take nothing away from his career. But at 40 years old right now, from what I saw in this match, he's a liability. And the liabilities go further than that. Nico Schlotterbeck, the injury, it's a massive miss for them. and you really saw not having Nathaniel Brown, who's, I think, nursing a potential knock right now, David Raum got beat to a header that led to a goal. So they have a lot of question marks defensively to fill out. But for me, it starts with Nagelsmann. His best team, I don't even think he knows his best team, or I don't even think he's willing to put his best team out there, because at a certain point, I would love to see a Germany side that's at full tilt. I would love to see a Germany side that has Dennis Undav and Kai Havertz, Undav playing underneath to start a match, not to come in and rescue a match or just get something out of nothing.
And so Undav, sorry, Pop.
Go on.
So Undav would replace Musiala then?
No. Undav would come in. Musiala would go out wide right.
And who would
Leroy Sané, the bench. That's the change I want to see.
I understand what he's saying about Neuer, 40 years old. I've seen him make mistakes in the Champions League, but I've also seen him save Bayern Munich as well. I think on and also when we speak about this guy, he won the World Cup with Germany already. So a big reason why they bring him is because he has experience, and he's the only guy there that could say, hey, you be quiet. I know, I did it. I know how to win this tournament. So there's that. And then I also think on the set piece, the one that Mike's talking about where he gets ahead, I got to see it again. But for me, isn't there always a guy like on the near post there that's supposed to take care of that low ball in there? Because the goalkeeper's got really no shot. You know, like in a low ball coming in. It's not like it was one of those where he could have punched it. It was just like one that was like just in there. So someone just nicks it before him. I think that's probably one of the zone guys in the front's responsibility, unless the ball was perfect. Again, I have to see it again. But, yeah, we'll see. And do they have better options than Neuer as well? Like, do they have, like, a clear, better-cut option, do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be between Neuer and Baumann. Yeah. And at a certain point, he's already made his bed by bringing Manuel Neuer in. So he's not going to go back and be like, oh, I just benched the goalkeeper that's got qualified us to a World Cup. Yep. So I don't see that happening.
And it's hard as well after what Bayern Munich did this season, right? You know, even though disappointing in the Champions League, but just with the Bundesliga.
Still playing high level. It's like, you know.
The teams that they could play, though, let's have a look at that, because Paraguay looks the favourites, 32%, Australia 29%, Sweden 15%. Do you think regardless of who they're going to play, Germany, I mean, yes, everything on paper is different to how it plays out, but they should be the favourites in all three of these?
They will be the favourites against those three teams, and none of those three teams will be an easy matchup for them. Who's
the hardest?
Depends what Sweden you get. We're going to see them in a little bit, so it depends what Sweden. Do you get the 5-1 Sweden where Isak and Jokeres look like they want to play and look like they're worth 200 million, the pair of them together? Or do you get the Sweden that gets blown out defensively, look really slow, unorganized? I'm not sure, but obviously on their day, they're very good. And on their on days, on their off days, it's something else. Paraguay, I think, are sleeping dogs. I think that the U.S. made them look really, really average, and everyone just sort of said, oh, they stink, like write them off. I think the U.S. were really good that day. Everything was working. So I wouldn't put Paraguay out of this tournament. I don't put them as an easy out at all. And then Australia, okay, they're going to be super defensive. We know that they're going to be very defensive, sit behind the ball and make it difficult for Germany. So none of those three are easy outs for Germany.
Not even Australia?
You haven't had enough.
She's doing it.
You haven't had enough yet.
It's just a question.
You haven't had enough yet.
No. So I'm just wondering if Germany would find Australia as an easy matchup. What do you think, Mike?
You're our Australian national team expert, man.
I think again, if they set up defensive, they can make it difficult. Again, the last 20 minutes against the U.S., they played much better. And I saw a lot of the Australian pundits come out and say that they felt like the manager had gotten some of the selections wrong. I probably agree with some of them as well. So we'll see. This Germany side, like I said, there's a weakness in it. There's a soft spot in it. There's an underwhelmingness around it. So if you set up properly against them and make it difficult for them, I think you can get something out of the game. Ivory Coast did it the other day. And credit to Ivory Coast, very good team. But they did it the other day where they could have taken advantage and didn't. So I think those three teams are going to be difficult. I think every team moving forward for Germany is going to be a little difficult.
Yeah, I think there's some similarities with two of the teams that you pointed out, and probably Australia does it better. And hopefully that's not my phone because that's a fine. But Australia does it better than maybe a Paraguay does on any given day, where we saw what Ecuador did. We saw what Cote d'Ivoire did. Sitting in a low block, frustrating Germany, and the soft underbelly you're talking about, I see that in the middle of the park. Today, a player who's been outstanding for them in this World Cup so far was poor today is Felix Mecha. I think you could argue that if you would go and say, okay, who's really stood out, Dennis Undav would be probably their player of the tournament so far, but Mecha, probably their unsung hero of the tournament so far.
So, by the way, do we think Undav is going to start in the next game if you had to
Absolutely
predict?
not.
You don't think? No, we've seen enough now to know that he's going to come in off the bench.
Yeah, Nagelsmann is one of the most stubborn managers at this World Cup. He's going to live and die by this front four. He's going to live and die by this lineup that we saw today, minus Nathaniel Brown, and he's going to make his bed, and it's his to sleep in from now on.
What positives could you take, though, from Germany? If you're looking back on the game and thinking relatively through the group stage, they come out at the top spot. Is there anything that's glaring where other teams are thinking, wow, this Germany side looks really good when?
When Dennis Undav is on the pitch. I think the biggest thing in a game, and Grella, you know, I'd love to hear your perspective on this, but the biggest thing for me, if you're not going to get the result, the big thing is no one gets injured.
Yeah.
Healthy bodies. You wake up another day, you move forward. Next game.
What do you think of these ratings then, by the way? Because we've got them from SofaScore. We're going to have a look at the numbers behind all of the players and see if you boys agree with them. The average 11 in the group stage, and this is the average ratings as well. You can see Kai Havertz just over 7 at the top. Nathaniel Brown, 7.6, as you mentioned. Kimmich is in there.
How'd they lose a game? According to SofaScore, they played pretty good. A lot of good performances there. Yeah, okay. I mean, I see Sané there is what we've been speaking about, that he hasn't been good enough. Pavlovic as well. It's been underwhelming. Rudiger came in, was clearly going through the motions today with some of his passing and some of his defending. I don't know, was Kai Havertz that high, Musiala that high? I'm not so sure. Maybe it's a little generous.
The highest rating.
Yeah, and we talked about how big of a miss Nico Sloterdijk is. He's one of their next tier, highest rated players. Look, sometimes in group stages, and just some context for how SofaScore does things, and we get to do this on our show, Numbers Don't Lie. Remember, this is the group stage, so a lot of these numbers probably are elevated because of the match against Curaçao.
Yes,
and Jamal Musiala getting on the score sheet. Kai Havertz, his best game so far of the group stage, but take nothing away from what we saw today.
Oh, that was group stage.
Yeah, group stage, not the match today.
My bad.
Yeah.
They still apply, I think, though, what I said.
Okay.
But okay.
So you don't take anything back?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, Mike.
So you just interrupted him for no reason.
It's all good. We need to go to break.
Okay. We're going to be right back here, everybody, on Golazo Matchday 48 Nations. Stay with us.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others, but they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And we live the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Well, with wins against Paraguay, Australia and the US men's national team means that they have qualified for the round of 32 as Group D winners, which guarantees them a fixture against a third-place finisher in the San Francisco Bay Area. As of right now, there's a 99% chance that they'll face Bosnia and Herzegovina, according to FIFA's permutations. In 329 of the 330 possible outcomes, this one is the one that is the most likely. How do you feel, Mike, about their chances?
Sorry, guys, that stutter that you did was my fault. Somehow. I'm going to apologize beforehand.
I'll take that one. I thought it was 99.99, but it's just 99%. How do you feel, though, Mike, about their chances against Bosnia and Herzegovina?
Yeah, you'd have to say they're the favorites, and there's this feel-good feeling right now in U.S. soccer. There's a feel-good feeling amongst the players in the camp, and it's only going to be boosted by the health of Christian Pulisic coming back. But I think the big thing for me is that Mauricio Pochettino is getting a tune out of every single player within the team. But now in this game, this is where the depth of this roster is going to be tested. The depth of the squad is going to be tested. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this team is going to break this Bosnia side down, because they have some players as well, Grell.
Yeah.
Let's see, Grell.
Oh, we're going to go to the board. Okay, we'll check this out. And so...
You just trod on my toe, everybody, for
Not on
those that
purpose.
didn't see
Sorry.
that.
So here we go. We're going to take a look quickly at Bosnia. And the one good thing about Bosnia, or the thing that they have positive working towards them, is that they know what they are. I think that's a very important fact. You have to know what you are. You have to know where your tools are. And so they know they don't have a lot, right? But they've got some unbelievable results. Knocked out Wales, knocked out Italy to get to the tournament, then slapped Qatar around yesterday. 4-4-2, easiest way to play football. They're in the blue here. You can see they're in the blue. 4-4-2. And the reason why, try to disregard the reds for now. The reason why this is the easiest is because you have to keep this space short. You have to keep this space short, right? We spoke about that yesterday. As this ball flings out here of the United States, starts with the keeper, maybe with the center backs have it here, right? This ball flings out. It's very simple. Anybody could do this, right? He shifts, puts pressure on the ball, the left midfielder. Here's your little bit of cover. Here's your little bit of cover, and then you almost always have this check mark in a 4-4-2. Same thing now if the ball goes out wide here, and they have to put some pressure. Here you go. That's the first the fullback of this back four. The fullback will go out, and you'll have this little shifting, and you'll have this little check mark coming inside here. Again, you'll have this check mark. You'll have guys coming down, protecting the back four. 4-4-2. Sometimes you might even see one of the strikers come in here and pick up on a midfielder, and it kind of looks like a 4-4-1-1. Okay, fine. That's the easiest way to play a football and to defend. So what do you want to do to this back four if you're the United States of America? Now let's just focus just on the back four right here. This back four, you want to spread them out. So you want to have width, because if you have a player here and a player here, you're automatically, by default, you're going to create some space between the lines if they don't shift, right? Which means now you have overload runs, or you're going to create that shift hard like I showed you, and you're going to leave space on the weak side where they can attack and they can cross balls and everything else. So I think that's the important thing. So how the U.S. will play, right? We've had some jokes around it, people talking about they're playing like a pentagon formation. Bosnia now will play deep like this, right? 4-4-2, like we spoke about. And the U.S., to open them up, they will not play with a back two. They won't play with the back two. This new formation that we're seeing is a three center back system, right? So that it will look like this. These are the three center backs. Now, these fullbacks here, these are called wingbacks. These wingbacks will go high and wide. They'll actually become attackers. And at times, a lot of times, the teams that know how to play well, they'll become the highest players on the field. So there's your width right there. These guys will connect to the back line in defensive stage, and in the attacking stage, they'll be sometimes even the highest players in the field. Flo Balogun will be here, and then they will get runners from the midfield here as this shapes up, right? And now the unique thing about the U.S. and what they want to do is, as this ball, let's say, swings wide, right, and the numbers are like this, these three center backs will go and rest right on these blue shirts. Back in the day, you would see guys happy to be here, right? They might do something like this, right? That's what normally you see. The U.S. is going, no, we play rock and roll football. We stay here. Go ahead, come and try to beat us. And the reason why they can do this is because they're so quick and they're so athletically gifted. Now, just quickly, last thing. The two most dangerous players on Bosnia are Alabegovic and the other winger, Dzeko, obviously Demirovic up top. So just look at their front four right here. Again, this is their 4-4-2. These two guys will try to occupy center backs. Here's the danger man right here. And he is going to start in the wide areas for them. So they have to be in this five-man. The beauty of this 5 or 3 center back system is that when these guys are not attacking these two wing backs that are so essential to the formation, these guys will connect again to the back line. And the U.S. will have Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, probably Tillman protecting this area, even if Tillman cheats a little bit, right? But this will look like a back 5 with 2 protectors in front of them at all times. These 5 here plus the 2 protectors. Now, let's say Des gets caught up. One of the midfielders will make that ground up, and they'll shift accordingly. So this is what it will look like, I think, 4-4-2 against a 3 center back system. And I think there'll be no surprise on the day. Alabegovic is a danger man. Rest defense is important. Counterattacks are important. And that suffocation that the U.S. did against Paraguay and the first half of Australia, I think we'll see that. I think you'll need to see that if they want to put Bosnia in a game that's too difficult for them.
Yeah, Grella, that was outstanding. And it's cool to be in studio to see that live because I've seen it online and, just seeing you come alive in that. What a difference it makes. I can't remember the game. I don't know if it was Ecuador or South Korea. Maybe it was South Korea. That mentality shift for the U.S. men's national team. And I love that you said rock and roll football, to be aggressive. Because coming into the World Cup, a lot of people, me included, my biggest concern was how do you protect Tim Ream? Because I thought he was going to be the player teams were going to say, okay, let's put Dzeko on, let's put Demirovic on him and go after Tim Ream. But you haven't seen that this World Cup. It seems like the team is a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, when you play with 3 center backs, that's the best way to protect them. If you don't have 2 really, really good center backs, you put 3 center back system. It's easier to play out of, and it also helps you on the defensive side, like we just saw in the last thing, because the wing backs can reattach, and then you have a 5-man back line to clog up the wide areas, where Bosnia will be dangerous with Alabegovic.
And amazing as well that they've got Christian Pulisic back to full strength and available and ready to go. Just quickly, a pathway for them forward could look like this, because the bracket, the way it's kind of fallen, has fallen favourably, you would have to say, for the US men's national team. Potentially, if they get past Bosnia and Herzegovina, it's Egypt, South Korea, and then in the quarterfinals to reach Spain, Austria, Portugal, or Ghana. I mean, then you're looking at the tough matchups. But would you say, Grell, that's you'd take that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would before the tournament, but again, Bosnia, they've been playing possum for so long now. Like, oh, we're not that good. Tied Austria. Oh, we're not that good. Knocked out Wales. Oh, we're not that good. Knocked out Italy. Then tied North Macedonia, tied Panama. So, they're a team that doesn't waver. Obviously, they're pretty good at stuff, and they have a pretty huge age range, with Alabegovic being 18 and Dzeko being 40. They got a little bit of everything. I think in the quarterfinal, the U.S. to go deep to a semifinal, they're going to need Spain or maybe even Portugal to get upset on that side of the bracket.
So
then a semifinal is very attainable. But I think if they come up against Spain, it's going to be tough.
But still, then you're right there at that quarterfinal mark, which is really impressive, isn't it? Mackenzie Brooks is back with us as well to look ahead to the money side of things tonight. What have you got for the US tonight, Mackenzie?
Well, we're actually going to talk about the futures, right? Futures that we learned about in that path. Now, you can bet on the US to make it to each stage of this knockout, right? We can start with making it to the round of 16, the quarterfinals, the semis. Now, these are very playable numbers. Minus 421 to make the round of 16. That's just implying them beating Bosnia. Not making a lot of bang for your buck there. What I want to look at is this minus 115 to make the quarterfinals. I understand that we already know what their path is, that we already have the stage set. I know that the game doesn't essentially matter. public money, right? I'm talking stock market. Get in before everybody else gets in. This minus 115 after a potential victory tonight easily will move to at least minus 130, minus 150. The public's ready to bet on this team to make a run if they look good after this 10 p.m. kick, right? So this is more of a, hey, if you're in on betting on the U.S. to make a run, act now, right? Act now while you have around minus 110, minus 115 before it gets pricier and pricier. And again, plus 400 right now to make the semis. So that's 100 to win 400. If they just look like superstars tonight, you're slowly going to lose value on that. Maybe it becomes plus 350. So this is just a, hey, before we have a 10 p.m. kick, just know that these prices are going to get less attractive and that minus 115 won't be looking as pretty after tonight, guys.
I love it. Okay, so put your money down now is what you're saying for the US before their game tonight, which we've got to look forward to. Stay with us, though. We're going to be right back here on Golazo Matchday 48 Nations in just a moment.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here. Now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
A crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
So in Group F, Tunisia know that they are out, leaving the Netherlands, Japan and Sweden to fight for first place, second place, or risk pinning their hopes on being a top 8 third place finisher. Here's just a look at the odds as well, a reminder of both of the matches tonight that kick off at 7 o'clock Eastern to advance out of the group with the clinching scenarios as well. Who do you favour, Mike, to be able to get out of this group this evening?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the Dutch, because they're playing against the weakest team in the group, and Japan has to be in the conversation. It would take the biggest miracle that I never saw coming in football for this Tunisia side to beat the Dutch and throw everything in upheaval. But when you look at it, I mean, everything points to the Dutch national team having this game, much like we saw with Côte d'Ivoire, with Curaçao, having this game in their hands, girl.
Yeah, the Dutch side looks really good also, by the way. And we've seen the fan base that are just bumping all the time. But they got a lot of balance in their team. They're good from the back to the front. They got Brobery at the right time, scoring goals. They got Gakpo as well. They got some big names, good manager. Like, it's amazing they don't have a World Cup. So we'll see. They always are in it. They'll always go deep. They're physical side as well. So they play some good stuff. They stay in that 4-3-3 that they're known for. I see them rolling against Tunisia tonight. I don't see them having any problems.
And if they are to get out of the group, the most potential matchup for them is Morocco, which will be really interesting. We love the fans, don't we? We love seeing them in their bright orange. And Nico has been in the middle of it all day long. Here he is.
Guys, welcome to the Oranje Hekte, the orange craze. Tens of thousands of Dutch people here in Kansas City celebrating their country, represented in this one color, orange. Frankly, I've never seen anything like this. And we're in the middle of the United States. Only the World Cup can do something like this. This is what I love about this tournament, because you get to experience, thank you, other people's countries, other people's cultures, and the way that other people experience, love, and breathe football. The Netherlands, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. But they are a small and tough country, and the belief is never broken. And today, they want to win, and today, they want to keep the name of the Netherlands high.
Could they be a real dark horse in this competition? How do you feel, Grell, if they do get past this? Obviously, you just said you can't believe that they haven't had a World Cup in their history, given how they play. You're not too high on Morocco either, so you think they could make a deep run, the Netherlands?
It's not that I'm not high on Morocco. I've just had to listen to Nigel talk about Morocco for 6 months, every single day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So then, yeah, of course, I'm like, all right. I think Morocco, a good team. But I think Netherlands are just as good as Morocco, and I think they have everything. They have guys playing at a high level.
In that game?
If they played in the knockout stage?
Yeah, when they play in the
I would have Netherlands going through.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
You would agree, Mike?
Yeah, I think Morocco
conceded 2 goals to Haiti, with all due respect, yesterday.
Yeah, it wasn't their full-strength team, though.
Okay.
Some changes made. True. But look, I just say that and push him back a bit solely because Morocco's cooking up something special. And we've seen with this Dutch national team that even though they won, was it 5-1 against Sweden? There were times and moments where they let Sweden back into the game. And now some of the subs, like Crescencio Somerville, do have the quality to make that game not even a contest. So either way, I think it's going to be a hell of a matchup.
Amazing match, wouldn't it? Speaking of the matchups, what have you got from the bets tonight with this group, Mackenzie?
Yeah, 3 different bets we're going for in this slate, I guess. Japan versus Sweden. These are very correlated bets, over 2.5 total goals and both teams to score. Now, Sweden wouldn't know a clean sheet if it hit them in the face, right? They've conceded in their past 16 games. They've conceded in all these World Cup games. Japan has been part of multiple World Cup games with 4 goals total. So again, with both of these, we're seeing both these teams concede. We're seeing a close game. Close games in the World Cup have been very correlated to both teams to score. This World Cup in general has been a both teams to score party, if that's what you want to call it. Then we move down, Netherlands to win both halves. Now, a lot of today we've talked about goal differential matters. You're trying to rack up the score, right? This is just a get out, win the game, right? Take care of your business. So the hope is they're able to take care of their business in both halves to win the first and second half. And again, at -112 relative to the other backing Netherlands prices you're going to see on sportsbooks, this is probably the best price you're going to get for a pro-Netherlands pick, Poppy.
Okay, really good stuff. Love that. So the Netherlands, they are in Kansas City tonight. Japan, on the other hand, as we mentioned, they've got a really interesting match against Sweden. We've got much more to look forward to on Golazo Matchday. 48 nations in just a second. We cannot get enough of these scenes. Incredible. We'll be right back, everybody. Stay with us.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days, but the entire nation is hunting you down. the grand prize, $1 billion. Win this game. Change your family's life forever. Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here. Now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Welcome back, everybody. So Japan against Sweden up this evening, and this is what they look like, Mike.
Yeah, their head coach, Hajime Moriyasu, has been with the team since 2018, looking to take another group at the World Cup. Zion Suzuki, a player that we all know, familiar here at the Golazo Network, plays his football for Parma. He's also from the great state of New Jersey, as Tony Miolo loves to say. Got his first ever clean sheet at a World Cup in their last match against Tunisia. Hiroki Ito suffered a lot of injuries. I think broke a bone in his foot with Bayern Munich when he first signed from Bayern from Stuttgart, but he's really evolved into one of the leaders of the back line and a player that you know very well from his times at Leeds. Grella, Ayo Tanaka getting the start next to Daichi Kamada, who has been sensational since the UEFA Conference League final, winning it with Crystal Palace. And then up top, Ayasu Ueda will be partnering the likes of Dyson Maeda, who won the league with Celtic. Big night for Maeda because in the first match against the Dutch, didn't look as promising, so this could be that big turnaround match for him.
What a mad season, by the way, he had with Celtic this past year. What a roller coaster. On the other hand, speaking of a roller coaster, that's exactly what Sweden have been. Winning 5-1, losing 5-1. Which one will we get today?
Yeah, you see the wing-back positions. We talk about Gudmundsson and Bernhardsson on the other side. They got to stay at home a little bit more, or they have to be smarter about when they go forward and when they go backwards, because against Netherlands, they were killed in those transition moments, and that's important. He's the guy in the center back position for them. Big fan of him. At Atalanta, they play a man marking system where he is just glued to guys. So really hard to get around him. He's had some fantastic games for them. Stroud, Ayari in the midfield will be very important also when you talk about the balance, like I mentioned before, and then the front three. They speak for themselves. Ilanga, absolute pace all over the field, good technical ability. He can be a handful, world beater on his day. Same with the front two. Gyökeres coming off an unbelievable season with Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal had an unbelievable season. He was a good part of it. Running the channels, protecting the football, doing the things that strikers should do. And Isak, obviously injured for large parts of the season, but price tag of the front two speak for themselves. Over 200 million, the pair of them. Nobody wants to play against them on their day. It just hasn't been their day that often. So let's see. They need a day today.
Who are you going for in today's match, Sweden or Japan?
Japan's a better team than Sweden, although I think Sweden have some really interesting individuals. I think Japan's the better team. Surprised me against Netherlands. I thought when they went down, I was saying, oh, they're probably not going to be that good at set pieces, and the Netherlands scored them at set pieces, and then boom, they answer with one of their own. I think they have a lot of tools. I think they have a lot of good players as well. I think they're fit, disciplined, good manager, like Mike says. I think Japan will get the job done against Sweden. I see them drawing or even winning the game today.
Okay.
Yeah, I fully back you on that, Grella. I think the strength and the difference is just the quality of the two managers. Graham Potter will be a good manager again. I just don't think he's a good manager with Sweden at the World Cup. There's some things he got exposed in the match against the Dutch, and hopefully he's learned some lessons for that, but I think Japan gets it.
Are you going to say something, Grell?
Oh, Graham Potter. He's English, right?
Yeah. Huh? Well, you've got something
Jesus.
You're going to drag Graham Potter into your English land there as well?
I mean, he couldn't win a game in qualifying with Sweden. He's got some tools there. I mean, a lot of the time you say, but the players are not there. Oh, look at this team. See some good players here.
Yeah.
So Graham Potter's got to start to say, hey, he's got to show up in these moments or else he's out the door.
Yeah, it's high stakes tonight, isn't it? Especially for Sweden. We're going to be back here in just a second here on Golazo Matchday 48 Nations. Stay with us, everybody.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me. Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events. It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
I look crazy. It's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. They're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gotta blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Breaking news out the England camp as Manchester City agreed to a deal to sign midfielder Elliot Anderson from Nottingham Forest for $153 million, a transfer fee which would be the highest for a British player, as suggested by multiple reports. The 23-year-old has been given permission to undergo medicals in New York ahead of Friday's Three Lions final group stage match against Panama. Anderson joined Forest in 2023 for $46 million in a transfer, making just under 100 appearances for the club, but being a massive part of it. A massive part of it which we know and which you can understand. What about the price tag associated with him? Is that something you can wrap your head around, Mike, him being the highest ever British transfer?
Yeah, I'm shocked at the number. I think he's a damn good player, but I think there's some context with it. There's a bit of a British luxury tax going on in the Premier League. Sometimes English players, we've seen it before, where they go for a damn good penny. But man, to be in that company, Jack Grealish aside, I think this reminds me more of the Jack Grealish transfer solely because you know this club better than any of us, Pop. He was such a pivotal piece of what Nottingham Forest were. Such a big reason why they staved off relegation. And much like a Jack Grealish at Aston Villa, the price tag only goes up when the desire is there. And you think of some of his performance he had this season. I mean, he was one of the top midfielders that we didn't talk about enough in the Premier League. I'd put him in my most underrated midfielder in the Premier League for some of his cameos. You think back to the match he had against City, where your Nottingham Forest got a massive result that impacted the Premier League title. I also think about his cameo at Old Trafford, where for decent parts of that match, he bossed the midfield. So he's been used to doing it on his own at Nottingham Forest in the middle of the park at different times. But for me, I think that's a bit too much for Elliot Anderson.
I love Declan Rice and I love Elliot Anderson. I think they're both fantastic players. When you put their price tags together, you're talking about 300 million ballpark. 300 million. When I watched the first two games England played, I didn't see a midfield that was worth 300 million. Not because to take anything away from them. I don't think any players are worth that money unless you start to talk about Mbappe, unless you start to talk about some of these other players. So I don't know. Seems like a lot, but I'm probably not the right guy to ask. I bought 4 coffees yesterday morning. It was $24. I bought 4 coffees for the boys.
It's actually not bad, 24 for 4. That's how little it goes out.
I said, I'll treat. They didn't want breakfast. I said, I'll treat, no problem. I just have 4 coffees, medium, $24. So I'm not the one to say, but 153 million seems a little excessive.
It does seem, though, unfortunately, this is the day and age we're living in, isn't it? Isn't this just market value to think of all of the other players that we're seeing go for such records around the world? Maybe, yes, there's a British tax, and in England to be compared to the last one being Jack Grealish, which at the time was such a big, big headline. It didn't maybe pan out the way they wanted. How do you think, though, he's going to fit into Maresca's plans? Because this is a big step for Enzo Maresca to take over after Pep Guardiola and say, this is the guy that I want to have in my midfield.
Yeah, and it puts a lot of pressure on Elliot Anderson. We've seen Jack Grealish at times crumble with that in his first season at Manchester City. But there's this feeling with Elliot Anderson that he actually wants the pressure. He invites the pressure. He's someone who I think thrives under pressure. We saw it at different points. Remember, there was a match in the Europa League against Aston Villa where Aston Villa, the current Europa League champions and will be playing in the Champions League, but they tried to bully Nottingham Forest. They're getting physical, trying to knock him about, and he comes in and immediately, maybe he should have gotten a red card. For me, I don't think that was a red card. But he's not afraid to get dirty, get a bit nasty. He's got a bit of personality about him. But this is Manchester City. This is a whole lot of different pressure. And for Enzo Maresca, you think of who he's going to be playing next to. Rodri, when fit. Ryan Cherki, when you get back in. So there's some world-class players in there. And I think that Elliot Anderson, he will become a world-class talent. He has a lot of work to do to get up to that level, but this is a good start.
I think
a lot of work to get up to that level to become a world-class player. So 153 million, he's not a world-class player.
But isn't he an unsung hero? Because I think one of the big things as well at Forest is, yes, you notice the work that he does, but it's more the absence that you notice when he's not available. And for the very few games that he did miss this season, it was a huge loss, especially for a team that was fighting relegation. This is a completely new battle, though, with a team that's expected to win the Premier League, and especially after Arsenal won it last season, maybe there's more pressure on this new look, a new era for Manchester City.
153 million is a lot of pressure on a player, on anyone. He's a human being at the end of the day. You've got to be perfect. Like, you've got to be perfect, and every week in and week out, and you've got to be fit every single week, and you've got to be mentally in the right spot every week. Your technique's got to be perfect. You miscontrol a ball at 153 million, everyone's gonna be like, whoa, what's that? What's he doing? That's a lot of pressure. It's big pressure. I think he's a good player. I really think he's fantastic. Him and Declan Rice, I'm a big fan of them. But at some point, man, wow, that's. You tell me there's not a player out there worth 120 million that maybe is very close in talent and level? Maybe 90 million. I mean, these are huge numbers.
So yes or no, is he worth being the highest?
Nobody's
British
worth 153 million unless their name's Mbappe.
Of all time, the British transfer though.
Unless when he plays, fire comes out of his cleats, out of his boots.
I think City are paying well over the asking price, but they're doing it for a reason. The big reason being you need to replace Bernardo Silva.
Right.
And when you look at someone who's Premier League proven, and that's a big thing. If you go outside the Premier League, and you get someone who maybe played in the Bundesliga, maybe played in Liga, maybe played in La Liga, it's not a sure thing that he's going to come in and be Premier League ready to deal with some of the pressure, to deal with the physicality. So I think that has a lot to do with it, but the demand is there. They need to get someone to fill in right away to replace Bernardo Silva.
Okay, 153 million. Look at it this way from a business sense. Right? These are business transactions. 153 million. Let's say he goes in, has the awesome season, plays really well. They win the Premier League. What's he worth then? 200 million?
Well, the value just is going up and up and up, isn't it?
It seems like there's a bigger downside than there's upside.
But do Manchester City care about that? Do they care about the resale value,
business,
or do they
right?
care about this season?
It's a business. So like when you buy something, you're like, is there upside? Is there downside?
But isn't
that price tag? There's not a really margin for error.
Isn't the business for Manchester City though different to some of the other teams where they're not a team that's looking to make money? They're looking for trophies.
They also don't follow the rules, so that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, okay, they've been known to spend a lot of money to get what they want. I just, again, 153 million to me sounds like a lot of money.
You know, the thing I don't like about it all is why is he doing his medicals now in New York? When is this taking place around the England camp? Is he distracted? Is he focused on when this deal's going to get done? It just, as an England fan, and aside from being a Forest fan that doesn't want to see one of your star players go, I think it is a bit concerning, isn't it, that this is all happening in the middle of a World Cup?
Yeah, it is for sure. By the market values, though, of the English team, they should win the World Cup.
Right. Well, they didn't think about that, yeah.
But if you go each English
Declan
player,
Rice, yeah.
Go each
Harry
English
Kane.
player because
Bellingham.
The market says they're worth three players. They're midfield: Bellingham, Rice, and Elliot. So what is it?
And Harry Kane.
350 million.
Yeah.
So we don't need to play the World Cup. They already won.
You could say it about Spain, though. Or you could also say it about France with
I'm not sure.
Mbappe. Because he is the highest transfer, isn't he? So, OK.
But France are good.
Oh, jeez.
France are the favourites. France are the
He does this to me at 7 o'clock at night when I've got no more energy for him.
No, Pop, just very quickly, I'm curious, from the Nottingham Forest side, what does this mean for you guys as well? Because when one player leaves, that's a cornerstone for success, you have to fill it in. You're going to get $150 million plus. I think that may be 120 million pounds. What do you do with that?
Right.
That's incredible.
And who can you replace him with? Some players you can't put a value on in a massive hole that's going to be left in the midfield. Although we did see it, didn't we, with Morgan Gibbs-White? That was almost a done deal, and the Forest team would have looked very different had he left. His life would have also looked very different had he gone to Tottenham. It would have been an even more nervy season than what Forest had. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Forest is also a team, though, that likes to spend money, so I'm sure they'll use it nicely. So that is the latest then. Elliot Anderson off to Manchester City for the start of the new Premier League season.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch?